Welcome back. I'm Leslie, and this is Ethereal Aeons. Today's video is a mid-April energy reading, and I want to talk about how when you lean into the field of success, when you lean into the field of victory over victimhood, in times of uncertainty and in times of change, when life is at its messiest, you are way more of an energetic powerhouse than you think. And the reason why is because during painful truths, which is what we discussed in the end of March, early April energy reading, it was all about painful truths, which is nothing other than divine intervention. So when you are in the midst of being reshaped versus times of stagnation, there is way more current going through when you are going through these life-changing, sudden changes, relationships crumbling, jobs crumbling, thought patterns changing, routines changing, friendships ending. All of this is going on around you. When you're being reshaped, there are a lot of eyes on you. And we're talking about spiritual eyes. Because with these sudden changes and painful truths, this isn't happening because of you necessarily only. This is the accumulation of a lifetime, of years, of decades, of lifetimes, literally, of carrying certain ancestral burdens that haven't been cleared out. This is being orchestrated at a macro level. And we're seeing this, of course, astrologically as well. And so again, we're just mirrors playing out this reality through the cosmology. But with these painful truths, it's important to understand that this is divine intervention. And so there's also these micro synchronistic miracles, which is what I've been coining it as lately. That's been happening all around in the reality as well. And we are now able to notice it and accept it more frequently. There's always micro synchronistic miracles happening all around. And really what a micro synchronistic miracle is pretty much what it sounds like. It's these synchronistic events, and it doesn't have to be anything major, but it's when this instant manifestation happens. You can be thinking something and then it appears right in front of you. You can say something and someone somehow turns around and gets exactly what you wanted from their back pocket. And it's this feeling of, did I just do that? Did they just do that? And so this has been happening to me a lot lately. It's been happening to the people around me. It's been happening to the people who come to speak to me. And so I want to bring this up as well. It's very important because times are incredibly hot. Double fire portal energy with the fire horse per the Chinese astrology. During all of this intense burning down of the old structures, burning down of things that you once thought were the most solid in your life. These small gestures from the universe, they are so much more greatly appreciated. These synchronistic miracles in your life that are coming up that maybe you've noticed as well. And I call them micro because, again, they're not the biggest things, but they feel very, very, it feels like it's really coming to you for a purpose. And that is because if your life is beginning to dismantle, there's a dismantling going on. You have to understand that these spiritual eyes behind the scenes are on you. You are being supported, and this isn't something that's happening as a punishment. It's just something that needs to happen so that you can get to the other side. And on the other side is everything that you've been nurturing internally and nurturing through your bhakti, through your devotion, through your restraints, through the actions you've been taking. And so all of this time we've been cultivating this, and it's been very stagnant for years for many people. It's been very stagnant, and the 2020 days brought in a lot of movement as well, but that was all kind of external, and decisions had to be made during that time. And since then, there's been a lot of cultivating of who you want to shed, the versions of you you're ready to shed, cultivating of the versions of you that you're nurturing. And that can be confusing because there's a long checklist that you have to go through before you figure out exactly what it is that you want in life. Something else you want to notice is that the right people will appear in your life. And it doesn't have to be a new person or new people. It can be people that have always been there, but they will appear at exactly the time that you need them. It's almost like cue and enter. You ask for this, cue and enter. Someone will come into your life to hand over the gift, to hand over what you asked for, to hand over what you need to get you to continue on your path. Suddenly, people that you may have known or new people may enter your life in a whole new light. You don't notice the light when the sun is out. But at the darkest hour, any light helps. And your ability to notice and receive these synchronistic miracles is happening more quickly because of it. As soon as you understand what's going on, you're on the rhythm, you're in the flow. It's like when you're learning how to ride a bike, and at first it's constantly you kind of toggling off to the side, putting your foot down to support yourself back up. But soon enough, once you get it and you find the rhythm and you decide where you want to go on the bike versus just thinking, I don't want to fall or I'm scared. Once you realize that, then you're just flowing and it just happens and it's the flow state. And so the flow state attracts these types of synchronistic miracles into your life. And you're way more of an energetic powerhouse when you are going through things in life. Because if not, then you're stagnant. There is no momentum for you to grasp onto any sort of flow or to even let yourself sink into it. There's not enough current. So it's important to take care of this current, this double fire energy that's transforming and reshaping your life. It's important to continue going with it and not getting stuck with the lens zoomed in, because this isn't happening because of some implication of something you did necessarily. This is happening for you. This is happening for you to understand why certain things keep coming up and why maybe you shouldn't go to this default state of how you respond, whether it's retreating or being impulsive. So when you lean into these notes of understanding that you're in the thick of it, but there's still more to it than just that. You still have you. You're still able to be here. So when you lean into those notes, when you lean into these energetic notes of maintaining emotional maturity and giving yourself some grace during times of uncertainty and change, giving yourself grace and really just finally understanding that at the end of the day, only you can truly allow yourself to rise. So mid-April energy is all about how we are in the midst of it all. And we are also rising up at the same time. Very much like the phoenix rising from the ashes. So in terms of taking responsibility for how we show up when we don't have control, and that's the lesson in all of this, is that we do not have control. But we can master how we respond. We can master the art of truly utilizing self-inquiry for divine knowledge. Using self-inquiry in times of suffering, on looking at it in a bigger picture. Not that this is happening to me, and it feels that way. It sure does feel that way. You retreat into this aspect of this is happening to me, and that's the wounded inner child. We can no longer allow that inner child to be the default punching bag when things get rough in life. It is time to rise up as the divine energy and flow within us. And that divine energetic flow doesn't attach to anything. It just observes and it just is the ultimate witness. It doesn't entangle itself into the karmic implications of what happens when you touch something that's too hot. And if someone or life gets too hot, you just flow. You don't grasp, or else you're karmically going to be tied again. And so this is what the observer, what the witness does during times of suffering and change and realization that you don't have control of that. But that if you do reflect on suffering, maybe you can look at it from afar instead of thinking you are the suffering. And that's something I want to talk about, because one of the synchronistic miracles that happened to me that I'm excited to share with you, it is something that came up a week and a half ago. And it was just, again, a little stepping stone that helped me skip along, flow along whatever else is going on externally that makes you want to just, give up or just stay in this mentality of why, right? Why or all this. So anyways, so this is what I wanted to share with you guys. So I was at the library and I was just kind of working on my laptop and I thought I wanted to read something. So I pulled up the audio version of the Bhagavad Gita. And I haven't explored the as it is version, which is there's so many different types of renditions and translations and interpretations of the Bhagavad Gita. And so the as it is version, I've always seen it, but I never read it. So I pulled it up online and I was reading it as I was listening to the audiobook because I wanted to hear the shlokas and the hymns in here. I wanted to hear them in Sanskrit. So I maybe spent an hour doing this. I closed my laptop, went downstairs, and there was a used book sale, little store that was there, and hundreds of books. And as soon as I stood in front of one of the shelves and I looked down, this book started shining at me. I found it. I mean, I was just listening to it 10 seconds before that. I found it brand new, $2. Brand new, and it was shining at me. And it was the version I was ready to explore and get into, and that I was so excited about. And it was there. And I just thought, wow, this is a mini miracle for me. And they touch in ways that really matter. They touch in ways where you're trying to grow in life. And that's why they're miracles. And then I'd say 2 weeks before that, I'm looking over at this piece here that is a decorative piece with 3 bells, and it's made out of not copper, but brass. It's a brass diamond shape, and in the center. And I always thought it was, I've seen this piece at my mom's house, and I always thought it was some sort of Catholic thing. So I never paid attention. I didn't really want to look at it. And for some reason, I helped her bring it down. And when I looked at it, wow, something I had ignored, thinking it was something else. When I looked at it, it was a piece of artwork that had Krishna, Lord Krishna on it, playing the flute, and there was a cow next to him. And so it's a very typical image you see of Lord Krishna, which, Lord Krishna, he is the Godhead embodied as Lord Krishna here. So boom, 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 all of these mini synchronicities. And they were just, again, connecting the dots. And I had said it in the last video, when we connect the dots, we're connecting the stars, and we are just reflecting what's happening astrologically in the cosmos, in the universe. We are the embodied flesh suits that get to experience the reality per the cosmic astrology as humans. And so I felt that connection so deeply, and I wanted to share that with you because it was very exciting. And there's just been a lot of things happening this way where I'll share another story. I just went kayaking, and when we got off of the kayaks, everyone was soaking wet, and I didn't bring any extra clothes. And so I was wearing really heavy, thick jeans that were soaking wet. And we were supposed to get some lunch afterwards. So I asked a friend, I said, do you have any extra clothes in your car? And she said, I just have a pair of pants and my mom's going to take them. I said, okay, no worries. And 30 seconds later, I'm going to go into the car wet. And I'm like, whatever, not the end of the world. 30 seconds later, she comes up to me with a big bag and she goes, oh, actually, I want you to take this. I had extra clothes And she goes, most of them are new. I don't want them. If you want to take them, they're here. I forgot I had them here. I was going to give them away. And I said, sure. And so I went through everything, beautiful, brand new clothes, totally my style. And I probably could have used a shopping trip a year ago. So it just got handed to me. It's like I asked her, do you have extra pants or something? And she says no. And instead I have 15 articles of clothing for you. And it was just this moment of boom, boom. I asked and receive. And it was funny because one of the tags, the clothing, it says, as you wish. It was as you wish. And so I was like, what you wish for is like, here you go, as you wish. And so it was a very much a micro synchronistic miracle. And these things, when you show more gratitude for the little things in life that you see that are showing up for you, like look at what is showing up for you versus what isn't working out for you anymore. There's never going to be only darkness. There can be spouts where it feels that way, but we have to understand that there is an opposing force. And that opposing force doesn't mean it's a negative thing. It means that if you are primarily facing darkness, the opposing force of that darkness will be light. If you are facing light and you're trying to live in a higher state, the opposing force would be negative temptations. It would be old thought patterns, right? And so they work on both sides. And that's the energy I wanted to bring up to you guys today, is that we are in the midst of it. We are in the thick of it, but we are so much more powerful during all of this momentum energy. So you might notice some more energy, literally physically. You might notice more motivation. You might be at that state where instead of questioning or feeling low, maybe there's this energy within you. And you can't call it maybe anger, but it's more of like a climatic energy that is driving you to have to just continue to push forward, onward, and upward. Because this is at times when we are tested. And it's very similar to Arjuna and Lord Krishna. They're in the middle of the battlefield in this image here. And this is a time where it's like, okay, everything you have been working for, everything you have been working towards, even when you didn't know what it was, everything you've been doing behind the scenes has equipped you with the right tools. And it's time to look at these tools as not weapons, but as ways for us to rise up during this time of dismantling. And I'm going to read page 6 of the intro here. This isn't from an actual scripture. It's just the intro part, but I wanted to share it with you because we do speak about self-inquiry so much on this channel. And self-inquiry is most potent during these times. So you're really going to see these energetic exchanges happening around you. And it's time to remain in that grateful state so that they can continue to happen and unfold for you in a way that will help your transformation and the reshaping and this new form you're taking to help that really, truly polish you off in the most vibrant and easeful way. Okay. So this is on page 6, and it just says here, unless one is awakened to the position of questioning his suffering, unless he realizes he doesn't want suffering, but rather wants to make a solution to all suffering, then one is not to be considered a perfect human being. Humanity begins when this sort of inquiry is awakened in one's mind. So humanity begins when this sort of inquiry is awakened in one's mind. Unless one is awakened to this position of questioning his suffering, unless he realizes that he doesn't want suffering, but rather wants to make a solution to all suffering, then one is not to be considered a perfect human being. Humanity begins when this sort of inquiry is awakened in one's mind. Every activity of the human being is to be considered a failure unless he inquires about the nature of the absolute. Continue self-inquiry, approaching this from a wider lens. Because when you're in it, there's no greater way of observing it. It's like Maybe you're trying to learn the tactics of the enemy in warfare, right? There's no greater way to understand that tactic than in the middle of the battlefield. The enemy here is ignorance. The enemy here is separation from wholeness. The enemy here is, these ignorance, basically. And so when shots are being fired from all directions, hunker down and observe it. You won't get wounded observing it. It is only until you are impulsive, it is only until you touch that karmic nature of whatever's happening around you. It's until you touch it and engage it and you entangle yourself with it that it becomes dangerous for you. But witnessing and observing it and having self-inquiry about it separates you from believing that you are that. Because now you're sitting back and you're journaling and you're questioning things and you're looking at it as the observer rather than this is happening to me. So I wanted to bring that message to you as work you can do with yourself to try and no longer associate yourself with these painful truths or these changes in your life. These are just divine interventions, ways of reshaping you. And really, it's going to take you a lot further and make you rise up a lot higher than you ever believed. So I'm wishing you so much guidance and protection, inner guidance, inner wisdom. Continue doing the work. Continue to take time for yourself. And yeah, with the fire energy, try not to overdo things. Really, really, really take time to just calm the senses, turn it all off, turn the lights off, and just lay there in quiet stillness. Thank you so much for being here. Check out the links in my description. You guys, I have a Substack now. And so I'll share more about that later. But if you're familiar with Substack, check me out there. It's under Yogic Soul Healing, Leslie Demai. And I'm going to make a video talking about this a bit more. And I'm also thinking about going live very soon, like in a few days. So I don't typically go live, but we're trying to push ourselves a little bit more out of our comfort zone. And I do really want to form this community with you guys and just show up more presently with you guys. And so I feel like a live is the best way to do it. And, just sharing a little bit more about myself as well. I feel like that's something that could benefit us all, for me and hopefully for you as well. And so that's what my Substack page is all about. I get to share longer form content there in terms of articles. So if you love to read, if you want to learn more about what I'm talking about, but more from a yogic perspective, I go a lot deeper there than I do on this channel. So anyhow, yeah, I'm planning on going live in a few days. So not for too long, but hope to catch you there. I will see you very soon. And thank you so much.